So usually people ask for the recording, so the session will be recorded for everybody who would like to view it afterwards, and it will also be shared on Zindi and on YouTube. So in terms of some etiquette for the session, I'd ask all of you to remain on mute for the session just to make sure that the speakers can be heard clearly and we don't interrupt the progress of the webinar. Um, if you have any questions, you are most welcome to ask them. Questions, comments are very, very welcome. Please put them into the chat and we will get to all of your questions uh, during or at the end of the webinar. As I said, they're most welcome. I'd also encourage you to make enthusiastic use of the reactions. It's always nice when we are speaking and presenting that reactions are used, so we know that you're all there and listening. We like to see as much interaction and participation from the audience as possible. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the agenda for the session. As I said, this is the Welcome to the Education Challenge session. The goal of this webinar is to introduce all of you to one of the AI4EAC stream challenges. That would be the Education Challenge. The challenge will be running on the 28th and 29th of March. And this is an opportunity for you today to learn more about the challenge provider, which is UNESCO, as well as some details of the challenge in terms of the data sets that we're using, the error metrics, and also some potential challenges that you could look up on Zindi practice in preparation for the challenge. So the agenda today, we are starting with an introduction is from me. I will stop talking very shortly and I'll hand over to Carmela Salzano from UNESCO to tell us more about UNESCO. Then we will hear more about global skills intelligence and UNESCO's Global Skills Tracker, which is the project that the challenge is contributing to. That'll be with Claudia Pompa, Gatti, and Simone Perego. After that session, we'll hear more details about the challenge design and preparation with one of Zindi's data scientists. So this will be your chance to get a view inside the challenge design process and find out more about what the challenge will entail. For that, we will have a period of Q&A and we will wrap up with some additional information. So without any further ado, I'd like to now welcome Carmela Salzano to tell us more about UNESCO and more about their involvement in this subject. Over to you, Carmela. And I think you're on mute. So let's get you off mute first.
Yeah, that's a
There we
great
go.
start.
Mhm.
Take myself off mute. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, loud and
Oh,
clear.
good.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Paul. And good evening, good afternoon to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon to what is the second webinar in the education track of the AI4EAC Innovation Challenge. Today, the webinar is a bit more technical than the first introductory webinar, where we talked a little bit more about Campus Africa, the program that I work on at UNESCO with my colleagues. Alice Lucatello and Shushwan Wang, who are also on the call today, and our broader team within the education sector at UNESCO, who you'll meet shortly after this introduction. So I work at UNESCO headquarters in Paris, and I manage a program called Campus Africa. Campus Africa is a program which links sectoral innovation, research and innovation to skilling in three core sectors. So we work in the digital AI economies, including the use of AI for teaching and learning in higher education. We work in the renewable energy sector, and we also work in the broader agricultural sector, which also includes climate resilience, water management, and sustainability. As we know, these sectors are growing at a very rapid rate in Africa, across Africa, and especially the digital AI economies. And in these growing sectors, skills are now the new currency, and being able to optimize your skills, whether they are digital, AI, technical mastery, or interpersonal, and your foundational skills means the difference between, being able to seek out opportunities and leverage them for new occupations that are coming up in those sectors, or being able to start your own enterprise. This is what we do in Campus Africa. We try to match skills and opportunities with demand. And it's for this reason that we're delighted to support the AI4EAC Innovation Challenge. We are a close partner with Zindi and with the other co-leads in the Innovation Challenge, which include GIZ and JICA. And we are happy to support this opportunity, which will enable, hopefully, for you to work on some meaningful solutions to matching skills and jobs with demand. I don't want to say too much because I think you will get more of a picture of exactly how we will do that technically with our colleagues, Claudia, and our colleagues from Lightcast, who are here today from the Lightcast, which is supporting the development of the Global Skills Tracker. So with that, I wish you all a very good participation in the Innovation Challenge, and I pass over to Claudia Pompa. Over to you, Claudia.
Thank you so much, Carmela. Thank you for inviting us to be part of this innovation challenge as well. My name is Claudia Pompa, and I'm a program specialist working also at UNESCO headquarters. But unlike Carmela, I sit in a different team. I sit at the youth literacy and skills development team. And here with my colleague Mattia, we have been working on the Global Skills Tracker, which is a tool that's designed for assessing skills demands. If we go to the next slide, Alice. So we want to explain very quickly what is this tool, because you will be using a data set from this tool to really build as part of the innovation challenge. So the challenge that you have been signing up for, the data set that you will be managing comes from this tool. And the Global Skills Tracker, basically what it does is explore skills data across different dimensions, countries, industries, and occupations. Next. We consider this tool to be an important one because it helps us provide a high-level mapping in terms of what skills are in demand across selected countries. We actually now have 20 countries under coverage, and the tool, the Global Skills Tracker, was launched last year, so quite recently, and we're still working very hard on improving coverage, but most of our countries at the moment come from Africa. It also helps us understand what trends we can identify in terms of what are the skills in demand and what is the private sector asking for, and also provide insights in terms of what is the skills landscape and what are the skills that young people need to enter the workforce and the labor market, but also to stay relevant within it. Yeah, next, please. So typically, Lycas is our, not typically, but Lycas is our data partner on this, and they analyze an amazing quantity of data on a daily basis, something around 1.3 billion points of data. For our Global Skills Tracker, we analyze data on online job postings. And this is what a typical online job posting looks like, and the kind of parts of it or different elements of the posting that are being analyzed. So the title that usually indicates or gives an assessment for the level of seniority, the type of skills that are required, both technical but also transversal skills, the type of experience, what qualifications are needed, etc. So what Lightcast does is aggregate all of this data and then analyze it so that we can provide you a more digestible version of what the aggregation looks like. Next one. Why are we working on a global skills tracker? Why has UNESCO had to do with any of this? So for many reasons, but I think the two main ones are A, we feel that this is a great complement to more statistical data, particularly data that is hard to come across or often takes a lot of years to produce. So if you really think about it, countries are producing census data every 10 years. Household surveys sometimes are done on a yearly basis or bi-yearly basis, but it's still data that it costs quite a lot to produce and analyze. And we believe that dynamic data like the one produced by Lightcast is not only more frequent and more timely, but it's also a lot more granular. It tells a much more comprehensive story. It's a lot easier to handle it, and it's also much cheaper to produce it and update it. And another very important reason is because we have this as part of our mandate. So UNESCO works in the area of education, also in science and culture, but we're working on education. And this is a very important aspect of our strategy for technical and educational training. It's particularly the strategy that we have in place until 2029. Next one. So these are some of the countries where we are currently working. As you will see, there's a very long list of African countries that are covered at the moment. We also have coverage across Asia, Latin America, and the Arab states. One particular outlier here that you can see in the slide is North America. In the US, we work with one state, which is Idaho. And you might be asking why, and we use Idaho as a benchmark, as a developed um, agricultural economy where you could see a lot of innovation happening. It's a very dynamic economy as well. So for us, we use it as a benchmark to see what are the kind of skills that are coming out of these very developed agricultural economies and how do they translate to other parts of the world. Not only that, in Idaho, there's also a strong relationship between the economy, the universities, and the private sector. So for us, it also indicates what kind of movements and what kind of trends we should be mindful of. Next one, please. So how does these tools support our projects? So that the skills tracker not only help us have real-time data on labor market condition, it also help us consolidate a skills demand, and then that is transformed into direct policy guidance and program development. So many of you are attending university or are part of the educational system, and you often wonder how curricula is developed, or when do we decide to make curricula updates, or how programs are put together. So we're trying to influence that decision process through our data, showing what are the kind of skills that employers are looking for and what can institutions at different levels can do to answer to that demand. And we also monitor and analyze emerging skills. We have three core areas that we look into it, which are AI, digital, and greening, so that as these markets and as these skills landscape evolve and are transformed, we can also provide better guidance to policymakers and institutions. Next one. So this is a quick snapshot of what the skills tracker looks like. We will put a link to the tool in the chat in a second, but basically you have labor market information, which are statistic data that we have also linked there for you for your information. These data comes from international organizations such as the World Bank, the International Labor Organization, the Statistical Office from UNESCO, and are more permanent data that can help in the analysis of the overall trends that we are presenting. We also have online job market information by country, by occupation, and by sector. You can have skill insights by green skills, digital skills, and AI skills. And we also have a comparative tool, which helps compare countries and provide skill insights. So for example, if we want to see how a particular skill or a sector behaves, let's say between Ghana and Kenya or Uganda and Kenya, then you can do that and compare, provided that the countries are included here. So it's very useful. Thank you, Anna, for putting the link in the chat. And we always say this, the Global Skills Tracker is one of those tools that the more you play with it, the more you learn about it. Next one. In total, we have 21 data sheets that look something like this. So you will see at the top, you have country, you have occupation, group, and occupation. So you can select the country that you want to explore, the occupation group, and then the specific occupation that you want to look at. And it also the bubbles down there give you the top 50 skills in that sector. And then we measure two important things, which are the AI-ness and AI pervasiveness of these sectors. And we will go into detail in terms of what we mean by this shortly. Yes. So Anna, maybe I hand this part to you as you are the data analyst expert and help us understand what do we mean by greenness, digitalness, and AI-ness, and by green, digital, AI, and pervasiveness. And just to add, Anna and Simone, who are here with us, are from Lightcast, our data partner, who have also been very instrumental in helping us design and structure across this spectrum. And if you want to do this slide and then I complement the others.
Yes, of course. At all, I am Anna Clara Gatti. I'm from Lightcast. I'm a data analyst and data visualization expert. So what is the difference between the concept of pervasiveness and ness declined from green, digital, and AI? Basically, this indicator answers two different questions. The question that greenness, digitalness, and the I-ness answer are, of all the skills that are mentioned in job advertisement for a specific occupation or sector, what proportion belongs to these categories? So we go in detail to all the skills and count how many skills are from green type, digital, or AI. So we have the total mention of this type of skill and divided them for all the skill in the job online job advertisement. While the green, digital, and high pervasiveness measure the spread or the prevalence of a skill types across all job advertisement. So the question is, how often do job advertisement for this occupation mention at least one skill? In this case, we don't measure how many skills are digital, but if in the job advertisement there is at least one right part of the slide, you can see a practical example of calculation of these two indicators. So if we have 100 of job advertisement, in this case of data scientist, in this advertisement, we observed 1,000 of total skill. of which 600 are digital, and in these 600 digital are in 85 of these 100 jobs. So the digitalness is 600 divided by 1,000 of skill. So we have the 60% of skill that mention a digital skill. Sorry, that the 60% of skill that are digital. The digital pervasiveness is that 85 online job advertisement require at least one digital skill. So 85% is the result of the digital pervasiveness.
Thank you, Anna. And kind of like threw Anna in there because I wanted her to give a very detailed explanation of this and not to confuse any of the terminologies. Just also to give you some information on the Global Skills Tracker. So our data sets are updated every 3 months. So, and every update reflects an entire year of data that that has been updated, that we updated for an entire year so that you have a more complete understanding of what the what the sector looks like and how many applications or online openings have been in that period. If we go to the next slide. So just to let you know also, one of the beauties of the Global Skills Tracker is that it's multilingual. So right now we have it in English, French, and Portuguese. And we have also a methodological note, which is a document that gives all of the information you need in terms of methodology that was used to develop the tool, including how much data we ingest, what are the sources of data, how do we go through the process of deduplication and analysis, and what kind of criteria it's utilized for the analysis. And also we have an user manual, which helps to provide information about how to use the tool and handhold you in the process. Next one, please. And so here I will fully hand it over to the Lightcast team to explain to you in more detail the data set that was provided and how you can use it. But we remain available for any questions you might have about the Global Skills Tracker. Please help us spread the word between your colleagues and your friends. And we do hope to receive some very interesting projects that can help us really reach the last mile, which is the end user, the students, the learners. This is really what we're looking for through this challenge. And thank you very much for the attention. And I hand over now to Anna and Simone.
Okay, thank you, Claudia, and welcome. Good afternoon. I'm Simone. I'm data engineer at Lightcast, and now we will explore what is the goal of the challenge and the data set that we shared with you. In particular, the goal is to develop a method to predict the most relevant occupations starting from a small set of skills. In particular, what said that we will share with you a set of files that contains some information extracted from the countries that are focused of the Global Skills Tracker. The goal is taking input 5 skills is to predict the 5 most similar occupations. The output, it means that we will have 5 skills and 5 occupations with a similarity score. With this challenge, obviously, the participant can improve their ability to use skill-occupation relationship, then measure skill similarity and overlapping between skill and occupation, and rank occupations based on relevance to the input skills. Next, please. Okay, in particular, as said, we will share 4 different files. Two files contains the data that we are able to extract from the job posting that are part of the global skill trackers. And in particular, we are referring of the job posting file and the posting skills links file. Both these two files are CSV files, and in particular, in one file, we will contain the ID of the posting and also the information related to the geography, so the job location that is present into the job description. Then we have also the information related to the sector that we are able to classify, in this case using the Nike's taxonomy. And then we have information related to when the job posting is published and the expire date of the job posting. Finally, we have also the occupation that is classified using ISCO or Lightcast occupation. Then we have a second table that instead contains the information related to the skill that we are able to extract from a posting. Into this file, we have also the ID that will be the key to connect the two different files. And it means that for each single ID, we have a list of skills that are part of the job description. At the end, we have a metadata file that instead contains some information, some dictionary related in particular to the schema of the different files, but also more important to the different taxonomy. Because for those that doesn't know, like us, we classify job posting using different taxonomy that could be official taxonomy like ESCO, ISCO, or NET, but also a proprietary taxonomy that is called Lightcast taxonomy. The Lightcast taxonomy is divided in 4 different layers. The more general one is called the career area, up to the more specialized occupation that contains more than 1,800 different occupations. And similar, we have a skill taxonomy that instead is composed in 3 different layers. We have the skill name, the skill category, the skill subcategory. Next, please. Thank you. When you are able to create a model that taking input 5 different skills and predict the most similar 5 occupations, you can use the goal set file always in a CSV format that contains a schema that taking input the 5 different skill and 5 different occupation. Associated with these different occupation, we have also a score, so a value between 1 and 0 and 1 that say how much this occupation is similar to the skill set. It means that when you create the model, you can evaluate the model applying it to the goal set file. Then I think that's all on our side.
Yes, thank you, Simone, and thank you, Anna, for providing that information and also the data set that we will be using during this challenge. And just to finalize on our side, to say that, again, the Global Skills Tracker, it's the more you will understand it and the better you will be able to grasp the richness of the tool, the more you use it and the more you play with it. As you start comparing countries and doing different levels of analysis, the more you will learn about it. And as I mentioned, also please refer to the methodological note to understand what's included in there, and also to the user manual in case you need any guidance for navigation of the tool. And with that, Paul, I hand it back to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Let me just fix some of these. Cool. Good. Thank you so much to the UNESCO and Lightcast teams. Really appreciate that detailed overview. And it's even for me, who we've been working on this challenge already, it's really good to see the depth and breadth of the Global Skills Tracker and the work that you're doing. So thank you for taking your time to take us through that. Now I'd like to invite Azer Ksouri from Zindi's side. Azer, are you there? Are you able to share your screen and
Yeah, let
switch
me
on
try.
your
Yeah,
good?
Paul,
Hi,
hello all.
welcome. Hi.
Let me try to share my screen. So, okay. So let me know if you're seeing my screen.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, we can see your screen. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, great. So welcome all to this meeting. In this meeting, we'll discuss a bit about the hackathon challenge and answer to your questions if there are. So the first thing that I would say about this challenge is the design, how we designed this challenge. This skills to job competition will be you will be asked to build a recommendation engine that rank to the top 5 jobs based on 5 skills. The data is tabular. It's not imagery or anything else. It is tabular. And how we will evaluate your submissions, we will use mean average precision at 5. And submission format here, it is simple, but I will clarify in the next slide how it will be created. So a small overview about the data set. So here you will be giving 3 data sets. We will not provide you a train .csv as usual, as we were used to do. But here we will give you a first data set which is related to the occupations, the second data set which is related to skills, and third one which is related to job postings. Let's consider that as a real world data, where you have an ID, and this ID has a relation with skills, and you will be asked to, and you will have target, which is the ground truth, which is the occupations of this posting. So your mission would be that giving skills, you will build solution, and this solution will get out the top 5 jobs. Okay, and for this challenge, as I said, you'll not receive a train set, but you receive a test set, and this test set will have 5 skills in this format, and you will try to build a solution that, giving those 5 skills, you will output the top 5 occupations. Okay, so this is the expected output. This is the expected format of your submission on the platform. Okay. I want to discuss a bit how your submission will be evaluated. As I said, we will use the mean average precision at 5 here. So the mean average precision at 5 we are trying to find the correct jobs and the right order of the jobs, also of the top jobs, not only just predicting the top 5 jobs, but you need to make sure that you need to make sure that they are submitted in the right order. So if you submit if you have a submission where you submit the top 5 jobs, but they are not in the right order, you will not have a perfect score, and this will be illustrated in the next slide. So, for example, let's consider that the top 5 jobs, the ground truth is A, B, C, D, E. If you submit A, B, C, D, E, you will have perfect score, which is 1. But if you predict, for example, 3 out of those 5 jobs, A, so then X, B, Y, C, how this will be evaluated? So A is in the first position, and in the ground truth, it is also in the first position, so it will receive 1. Okay, X, it's not in the top 5, so it will be ignored. B, it is in the top 5, but it was predicted as the 3rd recommendation, not the 2nd. So how we will score it? So it will be 2, its real position, over 3, its predicted position, which gives us 0.67. Okay, why it is not in the top 5 jobs? So it will be 0. And C, it is in the top 5 jobs, but its ground truth position is 3. It is predicted as the 5th recommendation. So the score will be 3 over 5, which is 0.6. We sum up this and we divide by 5, we'll get for 0.45. So that's when we predict 3 jobs out of 5, but the position are wrong. Okay. But another case is when we predict the same 3 jobs, but a little bit like too late. Okay, they will be the last 3 over the 5. Okay, here the score will change. It will not keep this. It will not be the same. So how we will calculate it? X, Y, they are not in the top 5 jobs, so they will get 0. A is predicted as the third in third position. So and ground truth is in the first one, so it will get 1 over 3, so it is 0.33, etc. So same for B, C. So you will get finally a score of 0.29, which is the lowest. Our goal is trying to push the score to 1. That's our goal. So please pay attention to this during your challenge, maybe because I'm expected to have some questions regarding this during the competition. Okay, if you want to prepare for this challenge, how to do it? We already launched an education practice challenge on the Zindi platform. And during this challenge, your task would be to predict the child ELOM score and identify which early learning program factors contribute to better learning outcome for children. So is it a ranking problem? Well, it is a regression problem, but it has this track of identifying the top factors, the top 15 factors. So we can consider this as a regression plus ranking problem. You will not be evaluated on those rankings. Rather, you will be evaluated on the ELOM score prediction, but at least it is a preparation for you on how to get those top factors. And it is something a bit similar to what we have into the challenge. So the key skills that you will develop during this challenge. Of course, when we are talking about a recommendation challenge, it is not a typical one. It is not just you have a tabular data, you have train set, you have your ground truth, and you're just trying to fit the model and help him to learn based on this data set. No, here we are trying to develop a solution, machine learning solution, rather than machine learning model that this solution will understand the relationship between two data sets or two things. In our case, it will understand the relationship between the skills and the jobs. And honest, I expect that most of the competitors will deal for the first time with multiple data sets. As I said, you will have the occupation data set, you have skills data set, and you have the postings data sets. They're all related, but you need to learn how to deal with all of this data effectively to develop a good solution. Okay, so you will have so here that's in the data part. But if we want to talk about machine learning skills, there is many paths on how there's many approaches on how to solve this challenge, this competition. But I will not recommend any of those approaches. But what I said, the most probable one that you will probably that you will learn how to apply or how to create similarity-based recommendation systems. You will learn about what we call embeddings, how to generate them, and how to do. You'll learn also about the matching techniques, and you will learn also how to rank predictions. And as I presented earlier, so I said that the mean average precision will penalize you based on the order of your prediction. So that's also there will be lessons there. So finally, I will say that there will be mindset shift for those people who didn't practice the recommendation challenge before. So you will go from predicting individual outcomes to ranking most relevant results. That's it from my side. And looking forward to hear from you in the chat section.
Great. Thank you so much, Azer. I really appreciate that walkthrough and some detailed guidance on how the evaluation will work for this challenge. I'll ask you to stop sharing your screen, please. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Done. Okay. So I realize one thing that may be missing at this point. We are now at the end of our structured part of the webinar. But one thing that I think that I should have perhaps gone through just before talking about the details of the challenge is just how you would connect with this challenge and see more. So I'll just like to quickly take you through that, a little bit more about the upcoming challenge itself, some of the logistics on the day, and then we can start to answer some questions. I'm already seeing some questions in the chat. Thank you so much. So let me quickly go into the detail. So let me share my screen. Okay, so yeah, we've heard a lot about the details of the challenge, but I wanted to talk more about the program itself. This challenge falls within the education stream of the AI4EAC Innovation Challenge. You would have already seen a lot of webinars and course material shared. Now we are making the challenge itself available. Just to make sure that you are aware of this, the challenge itself will be active on the 28th and 29th of March. You'll be joining thousands of students all over the EAC. And I wanted to make sure that everybody's aware this is a hybrid event.
Hello.
Hello. I'm going to just carry on. I'm not sure what that was. Please, if you do have any question, please do just pop it into the chat. Yeah, there are, as I said, this event is taking place both online as well as at university hubs around the EAC. So you will be able to find on our landing page, you'll be able to find a university near you where you can gather. Otherwise, you can take place online. And there's quite a large pool of cash prizes to be won in this challenge. If you want to participate, let me share this screen. Sorry, need to get the screen sharing right here. You should now be able to see this is the education stream. So from the, I'm just going to go back. This is from the landing page on Zindi, zindi.africa/AI4EAC. If you go into the education stream, you can then find, this is the link to this webinar that we're currently running. You can find the practice challenge that Azer mentioned, and you can find here a link to the Skills to Job Intelligent Career Pathways Challenge. You can already sign up for this. And this is what the challenge looks like. So you can see a description. When the date is ready, it will appear here, and when the event is live, there'll be a leaderboard. So if you're ready and interested and committed to this challenge, you can click the join button and you'll be able to join. So that's all I wanted to share before we get into questions. So for now, let's take a look at the questions that are being asked. I think some of them have already been answered in the channel, but I'll ask the team from UNESCO and Lightcast, as well as from Zindi, to be ready to answer. Okay, let's see. So the first question is, should our solution strictly focus on predicting the top 5 occupations from a given set of skills as the main output? Can we extend it into a full AI career guidance system? And should it be designed for a specific country like Somalia as a case study, or for broader scalability across Africa? So that question is from Hassan Abdi Hassan. Thank you, Hassan, for the question. So as I think maybe was clear from Az's presentation, this is a very limited, the challenge is limited in scope and in focus. So the focus is specifically to predict top 5 occupations from a given set of skills, using the data that we're providing as the source of the machine learning project. If you are interested in working further on a larger AI career guidance system, I would encourage you to do so, but that is outside the scope of this particular challenge. Hope that answers the question. Then I have a question from Paul Wacko. Does it mean the expected solution is from supervised models, since direct evaluation mapping is not very possible on unsupervised algorithms? I will ask Azer to answer that. Azer, would you be able to answer Paul?
Yeah, actually, there is no restrictions to deliver a solution with supervised models or unsupervised. The essential thing that the final solution will have, the final submission will have an ID column, and you will rank your top 5 jobs, whatever was your solution, and supervised. You want to combine them, you want to ensemble the solutions from supervised and unsupervised, you are free to do that. There is no restrictions in terms of approaches. What is important is that you need to submit solution with ID and 5 columns with top 5 jobs, and you try your best to deliver a good solution. And how good your solution is reflected by the score you will get on the leaderboard.
Thank you for the answer. Another question, which looks like it's already been answered. Does the Global Skills Tracker provide information on location of jobs and related details? So thank you, Claudia, for the answer. I'll just read it out for the rest of the participants. Yes, we can provide information by national and regional level, and depending on the country, even at more local level. You will also find information sorted by the skill, definition of the skill, and related information. Then there's a question about the recording. Yes, the recording will be made available for everybody. Claudia, I see a hand raised. Would you like to add to that?
Yes, Paul, thank you for that. I just wanted to clarify that that is for the skills tracker. Like when you go into the main tool, the data set that you will be working with is different. But on the skills tracker, we can provide not only data at a national level, and doesn't only include capitals, but you can also find information about postings at a subnational level, regions, and sometimes districts. So you really have to play with the tool. But I just wanted to clarify, to avoid any confusion, that this was regarding the tool itself, not the data set.
Very much. Okay. The next question is from John Raporio. John asks, can someone use only one coding language such as Python for the entire project, or can we use a variety? I can answer that. The answer to that is that you are free to use any open source and free to use programming languages. Most people do, in fact, use Python. Some people work in R. Other programming languages you're welcome to use, but they do need to be open source. Another question from Paul Wacko, and I think this is specifically about the map at 5 evaluation metric. Paul asks, what if a prediction consists of correct prediction but wrong IDs for all 5?
Get 0.
You will get 0.
You need to submit the correct IDs.
Right. So there's a prerequisite that the IDs are correct, and then an additional requirement that you get order right in order to get a perfect score.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much. The next question from Hassan, where do we get the data? The data will become available on the Zindi challenge page that I just showed you. So you would join, and when the challenge opens in the morning of the 28th of March, then the data will become available for download and use. And then another question from Hassan, should our final solution focus on predicting the top 5 occupations for the competition? Yes. So Hassan, the entirety of the challenge is focusing on the model that makes your predictions. So we will award prizes based on the highest performing model or the best predictions from anybody in the participation. Beyond that, everything else would be something that you would work on optionally. Are there any other questions or comments or concerns from the chat at this stage? So I don't see too many other questions. I think I'll take that to mean we've done a great job in explaining the challenge and explaining the data sets and the reasoning behind why we are choosing this challenge, or the motivation. I see one other question. Will final judging be based strictly on map at 5? Yes, that's correct. Final judging is based strictly on map at 5. All of this information is available on the Zindi challenge page. You will be able to see everything in the rules about how evaluation takes place. But please keep an eye there. Make sure you read the full. I know, Carmela, you mentioned a pipeline that you thought you would be able to show if we had time. Would you like to show that and talk about that now?
Sure. Can you see my screen
Yes, we can see your screen.
and the full screen?
No, it is not showing the full screen. That's interesting. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, just as we wrap up, thank you again to everybody who's participated. And just to re-emphasize that we are running this challenge within a broader framework of our concern for youth employment and employability in Africa, and meeting the labor market demand in rising growth areas across different sectors. So, as you go into the challenge, we'd really encourage you to think about youth employment and entrepreneurship, not always as a motivation issue. It's also about navigation. And this recommendation engine, which you are going to be building, is a way of us to start thinking about, in a more robust way, what skills for what roles, what types of training are needed, and what types of signal are employers looking for, in in the emerging economies. So for us in Campus Africa, youth employment and employability is about understanding the emerging occupations and entrepreneurship needs, as I mentioned, in green tech, digital finance, creative economy, and agri-tech. It's helping young people, graduates, students, trainees to navigate the skills requirements, and especially identifying specific skills in demand and competencies. And this is where the Global Skills Tracker has really helped to advance that work by looking at online job postings and aggregating that data into a form which is easily understandable at a granular level. There have been some questions in the chat around whether this extends into a full-blown careers platform. Not for the moment, or not certainly not in the confines of this challenge, but we are thinking about it. Once we identify skills in demand, how do we match those skilling needs with training and career support? By leveraging online courses, boot camps, mentorship, career hubs. These are things which are on our radar and that we're thinking about. And finally, the end result is that we support young people across Africa in generating a portfolio of experience, work experience, volunteering, credentials, micro-credentials, certification that helps them to take that step forward into, the jobs of the future and innovation opportunities. So I just wanted to close out, or help to frame again the innovation challenge within the broader picture of Campus Africa support and the tools that our colleagues are building in youth literacy and skills section here at UNESCO with Lightcast. So thank you again, and back over to Paul. Paul, you may be on mute.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Carmela. And I think it's a great way to end the webinar off, in fact, is to bring us back to why this is important, why these sorts of challenges matters, and the kind of impact that we hope that this challenge will have on global skills and youth unemployment, especially across Africa. So with that, I'd like to take a moment to just thank once again colleagues from UNESCO, from Lightcast, and from Zindi for their contributions to making this webinar a success, and of course their contributions to the challenge itself. I hope that this has been valuable to everybody attending. I hope this has given you a glimpse into why these sorts of challenges matter, as well as a head start in fact tackling this challenge in 2 weekends' time. I hope you're enthusiastic. I hope you're excited, and I hope to see you on the final challenge weekend. So with that, thank you all so much, and I will end the recording there. Have a good evening.